So there's a major update in the story about the two kids who passed away about a month or so ago from suspected hypothermia in a casino parking lot in Detroit. Last week it came out that the investigation was done, autopsy was done, and they found out that the kids died of carbon monoxide poisoning, which to me makes more sense than hypothermia. Given the details and the circumstances that they was all in. And then I also think like a week before that, the mother got housing from either nonprofit or a church organization in Detroit. Now those two stories really didn't make like super duper headline news, like the big story, like the initial children dying, which is kind of strange how the media picks and chooses which stories they put out and hype up or what have you. I only saw this is because somebody that I was following on YouTube was talking about. I guess they live up in that area, and they put this story out here. So I, looked it up and what I'm saying, start doing, start reading research on it. But anywho, so now that the investigation is finished, they're saying that the mother could be charged with their deaths. Is that what they're saying? But let's get into this. Let's get into the news story. Don't forget to like, share, comment, and subscribe. And when you do subscribe, hit the notification bells every time I drop a video. You will be the first to know about it. Don't forget to hit marlonmorale.com or hit that shop button for all our great products. Let's hit it.
On the heartbreaking story of two young siblings found dead in a minivan in a Greetown parking structure.
Well, the circumstances are tragic. The Wayne County prosecutor will determine if their mother or anyone else contributed to their deaths. Fox News' Jessica Dutnag joins us live with more on today's developments. It's been a very busy day in this case, Jessica.
Yeah, this is really the next step in this investigation since the beginning. Detroit police have been looking into this case, not only to figure out what led to the children's death, but also to see if there was a criminal component to it all. Now, since that time in February, there's been multiple people brought in for questioning, including the children's mother and grandma, but no arrests have been made. Now it will be up to Wayne County prosecutor Kim Worthy to decide if anybody is criminally culpable.
And personally, I don't think they should be charged with criminal. Like, I don't think they like intentionally tried to take out the babies. Um, in this case, I think it was to me. I just think it was an accident. A tragic accident. And this is one of them stories where the outcome is probably going to be more punishment than the actual act itself.
Since February, Detroit police have been investigating to figure out what led to the death of 2-year-old Amillah Currie and her brother, 9-year-old Darnell Currie. And now their findings are with the Wayne County prosecutor's office. Until last week, the theory was the two kids froze to death, but an autopsy revealed the cause of death is carbon monoxide poisoning. At the time of their death, they were in the care of their mother, 29-year-old Tateona Williams. The family, homeless, living out of a van, parked at the Greektown Casino parking structure in February when they died.
Everybody who know me know I worship the ground them kids walked on.
The sequence of events that led to the children's death have not been revealed, or where the children were exposed to carbon monoxide. Both children wearing T-shirts and the toddler in a diaper. The older boy was covered in lice and the 2-year-old with rotted teeth. Our Charlie Langton talked to the children's mom and
No, hold on. So to have lice for to have lice for black people, it takes a lot for black people to get lice. Like seriously. It's one of the reasons why we can wash our hair like let's say once a week, but then the white population they have to wash their hair nearly every day just because of the texture of the skin and the hair. I mean, that goes back to let's just go back to the beginning of time. 'Cause I remember being a kid and they should do these tests when I was a kid. Do they still do this now? They should do like the hearing, the vision, and like the lights test and look, call the kids to the office, to the clinic, and they should do these tests all the time. And they do these dang lights tests. As a little kid, you ain't know nothing about it. As a little black kid, ain't think nothing about it. But then when you get older, you find out, man, black people say black folks can't get lights, but you can, but it's just hard. There's got to be a lot of neglect health wise for us to get lice. And if the 2-year-old's child are rotting, that means they weren't getting a whole lot of hygiene done. Now, I bring it up because remember when she said that the kids needed for nothing. They always had toys, electronics, video games, everything they needed, they had. They just didn't have a house. But yet they didn't have hygiene products. But you went to now I know you was homeless, but think about it. They said, they went to casinos, probably went to use the red bathrooms and stuff. You probably go to truck stops, use their bathroom. You could have got hygiene products if you up here getting all that like electronics and stuff of that nature. But anyway, it's just but it kind of it brings me to the story. What was that story that we did a couple of weeks ago about the lady who had abandoned her kids for like 4 years? They had a house. They had a house to live in, and they still didn't have the hygiene products. What is it about hygiene that these dang old mothers are running away from? Don't know how to use or whatever. And this woman here, this is the grandmother. Now she's 49. A lot of people say, man, 49-year-old grandmother. Come on, y'all. Let's just be honest, right? Your grandparents were young when they had their first child. A lot of folks, a lot of people back in the day got married at an early age. 18, grandmothers would be 15, 16, 18 years old getting married to their husband and having families. So let's not act like that's just too young to be having kids. It's not. You might think it is now because y'all don't train your kids to be wives and husbands. So it might be too young. But back in the day, they knew how to be wives and husbands at an early age. They was trained to be men and women at an early age. So when they got into that world, they knew how to transition. But anyway, let's continue.
Grandma back in February.
Did the van run out of gas?
You have no idea what happened. I have no idea.
Did you fall asleep?
Yes.
And then when you woke
Only night I fell asleep. I usually be woke.
Both Tateona Williams and her mom, Yvette Goodman, have been questioned by Detroit police. No arrests were made. Now the Wayne County prosecutor will decide if anyone should be charged in the case. Mayor Mike Duggan vowing wraparound services for Williams after learning she did not receive help when calling the city's homeless hotline. She also received a free home on the city's west side from the Detroit Rescue Mission Ministries.
I remember doing a story a few years back. They had a pastor of a church in Detroit had bought like a lot of houses in the neighborhood and was selling them or allowing them to be used by members of the church. And to me, that was like a big story because he was actually trying to help his community. A pastor was actually helping his community. I wonder what happened to that guy. I might have to look that guy up, the pastor up, and see where he's at now. But if anybody know who I'm talking about, go and comment, leave a comment, and let us all know.
This cannot ever happen again.
Detroit Police Chief Todd Bettison not going on camera today, stressing in a statement put out on social media and to the media that this next step is standard protocol when it comes to their criminal investigations, and any charging decision will fall on the prosecutor's office. Reporting downtown Detroit, Jessica Dupnack on The Edge.
Jessica, you broke this story with the help of your sources. The next question that's really been popping up online is, what kind of charges are we looking at here? Do you have any indication at this time?
It's a really good question. And there's been a lot of sensitivity around a case like this just because of how widespread it has been picked up really around the country. Now, as far as charges, now, I think it's important to keep in mind that because carbon monoxide was determined to be the cause of death, that does mean that the children's death is ruled accidental, at least by the medical examiner. So that changes a little bit how the prosecutor will examine this in terms of charges. I have a feeling it's going to be weeks, if not months, before a decision is made.
Jessica Dupnack, we do appreciate it. Thank you.
So, truth be told, like I said, I don't think she'll be charged. Carbon monoxide, what they say is odorless gas, which is why they put gas is odorless, which is why they put like scents or fumes or whatever you want to call it into gas and carbon monoxide so that so you can smell it. This kind of makes me leery of sleeping in my car on my lunch break sometimes. Now it's like, man, but I can imagine that this happening maybe for a car that's older or a car that has not been kept up, tuned up like it should be. Because you can drive and you can smell, you can get in people's car. Man, I have been in cars. I have owned cars in my history that you can drive it and you can smell like the fumes inside the car. You see what I'm saying? It's like because the engine, old, combustible engine, what have you, you can smell stuff like that in your car when it cranks up over you just sitting there idling. Think nothing of it, let the window down or what have you. What they're saying is carbon monoxide, it can get in the car and then it settles, it's heavy enough to settle at the bottom. And if these kids were sleeping at the bottom of the car, then that could be why they were affected more than the rest of the family. If they were sleeping lower. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? So that could be the reason. But like I said, I don't think that they're gonna be charged with anything. They put this story out here like saying that they could face charges only because it's protocol for the police department, law enforcement to do the investigation and then turn this certain form in, which reading on the title of the form make you think that they were seeking out an arrest warrant. But that's not typically that's not the case. So they turn in evidence and it's up to the prosecution, the DA or whoever to decide if the parents, the mother, should be charged. But I want to go to an article real quick because it has some more details to this. And this is from WXYZ.com, and it reads DPD completes investigation into kids who died in casino parking garage. I want to read this because there's somebody in here I didn't mention, but doggone well, we're not going to leave this guy out. Detroit police have completed their investigation in the case of 2 children who died from carbon monoxide inside a vehicle in a Detroit casino parking garage last month. The Wayne County Prosecutor's Office confirmed to 7 News Detroit that the office has received a warrant request. The prosecutor's office will now review the case and determine whether or not there will be charges in the case. Detroit Police Chief Todd Bedison released a statement later saying that DPD completed its investigation into their deaths and submitted the findings to the prosecutor's office for review as they do with every case. DPD has not requested charges to be filed against any family member of the children, Bedison said. As we do with every case, we have simply turned over our investigative files to the prosecutor's office for its review and determination. Any charging decisions will be made solely by the prosecutor's office. Here we go. Earlier this month, the medical examiner said 2-year-old Amillah Currie and 9-year-old Darnell Currie Jr. died from carbon monoxide poisoning, and the cause of death was ruled accidental. On February 10th, their mother, Tateona Williams, said she tried waking them up on Monday. Police said Williams, her mother, and 5 children were sleeping at the parking garage at Hollywood Casino Hotel at Greektown. Now, so I'm gonna go by this because this is the most recent story so all 5 children that were in the van were hers, were Tatiana's. Because I remember seeing a story where they said that they were like her siblings, like 3, like no, 2, 3 of the kids were like 3 of the kids were hers, and the other 2 were like her siblings. So I don't know. So we just go by this and said her mother and 5 children. So what? It don't say if it's her 5 children. So it will still go. The family who was homeless parked their van in the garage around 1 a.m. and said the van ran out of gas. Around noon, she realized her 9-year-old was not breathing. And think about this carbon monoxide, if this is the truth. Even if it ran out of gas. So it's meant, you still have fumes, what I'm saying, could be lurking and leaking in the car. Can you imagine how long them kids were gone? They probably were gone well before that car ran out of gas. They didn't even know it. Quote, I lost the one who made me a mother, and I lost a 2-year-old. I'm dying inside. It hurts, William told 7 News Detroit reporter Darren Cunningham. I feel like my heart is breaking, and I have 2 more kids to live for. So she got 4 kids. So I guess maybe the 5th kid was maybe her sibling. Okay. Their father, Darnell Currie Sr. So the kids had the dad's last name. My God. Also talked to Darren about his children. He recalls the distressing phone call he says he took from their mother. Darnell Currie Sr. Dude, from what's coming out, you are worse than the worst. Because, let me see. I went to the gym. As soon as I got on the treadmill, she called saying, can I make it to the hospital right now? They gone, said Darnell. I was hoping it was a sick joke, but it wasn't. Who in the heck would joke about something like that? Was it April? Was it April 1st? I'm confused. Because no one in hell somebody would joke about their kids being gone. Now, people gonna say, let me be the devil's advocate. Darnell, well, I'm gonna say like this. What a lot of women have to understand, this is why now we're preaching to stress and stressing that women be careful. Who, first of all, understand who you are. Make sure that you are mentally capable to deal with the goods and bads, up and down, the stresses of being in a relationship and married to someone. Because there are reasons why, like the scriptures harp on, say you need to be married, start a family, be, just a nuclear family, and until death do you part. I think that's just something they cram up with after the fact. But still, being married, having one wife and one husband, and that's your mate until y'all die. There's a reason for this, because once, number one, you get into these relationships with people you're not married to, you have babies with people you're not married to, or you feel like the marriage ain't great, or relationship ain't great, so you want to get out of it. It's hard on a woman, especially if you got kids. It is hard, and this country makes it like that too. But y'all don't realize that. Y'all think it's okay because y'all get these food stamps that offer you government assistance. So I don't need no dude, but it is hard mentally. There are a lot of stories out here where these moms are taking out their children because they can't take it. Fathers too. Or these no count ass boyfriends y'all get taking out your kids because really you need somebody to babysit your kids while you go to work. And they sitting at home. Or maybe y'all working opposite shifts, but you got somebody because you and the baby's father either didn't get along or maybe it was a one night stand, who knows, but it wasn't like a real relationship where y'all could figure out to work out stuff. And when things went bad, y'all didn't have no one who had some common sense, who had some relationship sense. Hell, even go to the church if you need to, or go see some elders. Didn't have enough wherewithal or sense to that you could talk to help y'all get through the hard times. I know some old people who go through marriage counseling. It's not easy. So don't sit there and think, oh, I'm not happy, so we're gonna leave this relationship. That is stupid, especially if you got children. If y'all got children, man, y'all, but then again, anyway, make sure you right. You know what I'm saying? You might think you're right, but you got to make sure that you are right to be a wife. Make sure you find a guy who is right to be a husband, and you have children, and y'all gonna have a family together. Because, like I say, it's hard out there for a woman in this country, especially, no matter what the government gives you, to raise children by yourself. Because as a man, you could ostracize that man, kick that man to the curb, act like you don't need him, and then he dips. That man gonna be all right eventually. Too many stories. I want y'all to think about stories of women who left or divorced their husband or their boyfriends or their baby daddies. And that dude went on to still be all right, to do great things, build back what he has lost it all in the divorce and the separation and child support. But after years, this guy built up a new relationship, built up a new household, built himself back up, and is doing well. And you still out here living in a car with your children and mad at him because he ain't coming to get them. Now, they say he got some big woman that they said that the kids can't live with him. Okay, dude, you have to make a choice. Them are your kids. Now I'm not the devil's advocate no more. Them are your kids. You brought them in. If their mother says you need some that she needs some help, that she homeless. Now the story says they were homeless for like 2-3 months. So if that's the case, and he tried to say that he saw them like a month and a half before, dude, you knew they was homeless. If you saw your child, if you saw your children a month or two, month and a half or two before they passed away, you saw that they was unkept. You had to have. They said the 2-year-old's teeth were rotting. They don't rot overnight. That takes time. Life does not happen overnight. That takes time. You have to have seen the condition that your children were in. You just didn't do anything about it because you were too afraid that Big Bertha was going to whoop your tail, which is probably why you go to the gym. Gonna whoop your tail and kick you out of her house. I think he lived with her mother and I think they said he lived with her. They lived with her mother, or whatever. But so nah, or they didn't have enough room, something like that. But anyway, yeah, the thing about it, dude eventually gonna be all right. He ain't homeless. His hair looked good, like he just had a fresh cut, a fresh do. He wasn't homeless. He wasn't looking bad, but you and your kids were, and your mama was. Ladies, ladies, just it's a lot of work. Relationships are a lot of work. Just understand. Let me get back to the story. She said, I mean, hold on. Say Tateona told us she had been living in her car for 3 months, along with her 4 kids, her mother, and 2 teenage siblings. So now it's more. So damn, it's more people. Anyway, she said she reached out to Darnell, who's the father of 3 of her children. So where's the other baby daddy for that one child? I asked him, I said, can you get your kids from me? I said, I need help. You know I'm homeless. You know I'm homeless. I done kept a room this long. I couldn't keep it no more, she said. All she said was, can I get them? Can I get them? Not just to get them, or can I get them, or because they are homeless. That's 2 different things. And Darnell said he didn't know Tatiana was homeless. That's a lie. She ain't ever said nothing to me. She ain't have to, nothing, nothing. So all them sob other stories, they can cut that. No, she did not. I remember one time when my youngest daughter came, well, hell, not just one time. It's been a few times where I go pick up my youngest daughter back when she was younger, going through visitation, child support. She come out here and her look a total mess. Now I know they was, nice. They had a house and money, stuff like that. Just, her wasn't done going to school looking ridiculous. So you know what I was doing the weekend? I go get her hair done. Her mom would get pissed off at me, but I'm like, hey, don't send my child over here looking like this again. If you don't want me to get somebody to get her hair done, when she come see me, you either have it done or shut up. And that pretty much fixed that situation right there. But anyway, if your child is not, you know, taken care of all the way around, if you really, paying attention to your children. After the deaths, the city of Detroit said that the investigators homeless response team, Deputy Mayor Amelia Howard, was tasked with investigating what happened in the tragedy. Howard said during the news conference, I've had more than 50 phone calls of people offering support for the Williams Currie family with their homes and making sure that, again, that it never happens. At the news conference, Mayor Mike Duggan laid out a timeline of Williams' contact with the city's homeless service. Okay, now this is important here. He said Williams first reached out to CAM, the city's homeless helpline, in December of 2023 for help. So, Mr. What's the baby daddy name? Darnell. You may not have known that they were homeless, but you know they did not have a stable place to live. Don't have kids if you can't afford them. And if you can't afford them and you have them, you better find a way to afford them so they can live like regular kids should. It said in 2020, December 2023. So we're talking at least a year or so before, but you didn't know your kids are homeless. Man, come on, dude. Duggan said Williams let Cam know that she and her children were about to lose housing. The mayor said the family was offered temporary shelter, but Williams ended up finding other housing. He said the city's homeless team probably got, got with some family or something. He said the city's homeless team then reached out to Williams in March, April, and May, but got no response from her. In the summer, Williams reached out for help again. She ended up staying with a friend. So now you're going from living pillar to post, as my dad would say. So here's the issue right here. And the problem is, I will say this, difference between women and men in a lot of situations is women live more for the here and now than for the future. If they got somewhere to stay and they good for the day, they not really tripping on tomorrow until until the 23rd hour. And if tomorrow is about to be here and they're like, oh my gosh, I ain't got nowhere to stay. They say they reached out to them in March, April, and May. If you are living at a family's house or a friend's house, understand them people do not want you in their house for a long period of time. I know I don't, because it takes a lot of time, effort, money to take care of people. It just does, and you don't have. I mean, and it's like people don't have those resources like that to be able to have you long term. So what you need to do is make sure that if the city is reaching out to you March, April, and May, you say, hey, yeah, I got somewhere to stay, but I think I'm about to lose it. I'm about to lose where I'm staying. So If you got something for me, that's great, because I'm living at a friend's house, I'm living at a family member's house, we can come there. But no, as long as they say, hey, I'm good right now, I'm good with family, I'm all right. But then eventually when them people get ready to put you out, now it's like, oh my God, now you calling in a panic because you calling in a panic because now you about to be put out. No, you prepare ahead of time. Stop thinking that people that some miracle gonna happen and you're gonna be living great for the rest. It don't work that way, y'all. It don't work that way. On November 25th, that Duggan explains Williams made her last contact with the city and the city didn't follow up with her. Miss Williams called the CAM hotline and said, where I have been staying in the summer and the fall, I don't believe is going to be available. I don't know where I'm going to go do. Duggan explained. The mayor asked the question the first time why this wasn't classified as emergency, but as you look at the records, the time of the call, take worker, put them in a class of somebody who's still housed, but did indicate they expected to be unhoused, homeless. Stop saying unhoused within 14 days, and did not send one of our outreach workers out to assess the situation. See, that's why you can't depend on them folk to take care of you. That's why you, like I said, you got to prepare like well ahead. Even when you got housing, you know it's not gonna be, you know, it's not gonna be forever. Look to find, I wonder why they couldn't get it. Well, she said she had a job. Why the mama couldn't have a job? Because the mama's 49. I wonder if she had a mental issue. Because both of them could have been CNAs, like nurses assistants or whatever kind of. She said she was a nurse. But both of them could have been like, say, CNAs or what have you, and worked at like a, nursing home, memory care center, something like that, and been working. Like seriously, I mean, because 49 is not old. 49, shit, you halfway through, like you still got a lot of living to do. You need to be out there working. But maybe she got some disability. But if she do, she should be getting a check. I don't know. Duggan said the city had set up an emergency shelter on December 16th. However, that was never communicated to Williams. To better respond to people's needs, the city's 7-point plan is as follows. Okay, so they got a 7-point plan there. And it says, talking about how to reach out to the people, et cetera, et cetera. So here's the thing. Like I said, that's the update. Uh, still trying to see if they're gonna file charges. I don't think they're gonna press charges. Yep, the dad's still deadbeat. The dad still didn't do anything, and so he should be, he should be held accountable, like in his heart, because ain't no charges gonna be filed. But this should haunt him. Them kids should haunt him for the rest of his life, because he should have did more. He could have did more. If anything, you could at least took them kids in. If you didn't like the mama, take the kids in, lead them. You can lead the mama and the grandmother to themselves. Shoot, let them go and work, and you keep the kids for a little while they go work, try to build up their money, and find themselves something steady, and they can take the kids back if need be. Could have worked out something. No matter if you like each other, hate each other, no matter what, it's about the children first and foremost. I always remember it's the best interest of the kids, not the best interest of the ignorant parents. But anyway, tell me what you think about this story. Leave your comments below, share it with the world. Let's have intelligent conversation. You know how we do around here. Don't forget to like, share, comment, and subscribe. Those 4 things cost you nothing but maybe a couple of minutes out your day, but it means the world to our channel. If you would like to support us financially, you can give super thanks, super chat, super stickers, or you go to the description box. There are links there you can click on and help support us there. But if you like something tangible for your money, and a lot of people do, man, check out our products in the shop store, or you can go to marlonmorales.com, where we have great luxury items. Then we got, say, perfumes, colognes that last all day, smell great. We got silk products, handbags, beard products, and much more. Check it out. Hit the shop button or hit marlonmorales.com. You will not be disappointed. And with that being said, I'll leave you in peace, and I'll see you on the other side.